Hey everyone, Intrepid Cap here, and I'm back with yet another attempted project that hopefully this time I won't abandon. But I think this will work out better than my previous one did. So let's see what happens. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Guild Wars 2, starting with a new character. I'm going to play it through to, well, I'll see how far I get. I'm hoping to at least get as far as the end of the core personal story, but I might keep going depending on how things go. This is not going to be the type of video that's why or is Guild Wars 2 something you should play in 2026. And this is not going to be an expert guide or anything like this. This is literally just a casual playthrough of the game. I'm going to be doing, some explanations of some of the things as I go through the game. But other than that, it's like I said, a casual playthrough. I'm just going to enjoy myself with a new character, exploring and doing the story and so on and so forth. So I hope you join me for the journey and let's get started. Right, so let's get into the character creation. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'll just quickly go through the races. We've got the Char, the Human, the Norn, the Asura, and the Solvari. There's no huge difference between them, to be honest. It's mostly cosmetic. There are some racial skills, race-based skills that nobody uses that I know about. And then obviously your choice affects your starting area. Each race has its own starting area and the first couple of chapters of your personal story. I always default to human, so we're just going to do that. Next, you've got standard male female choice. I'll go with female. Classes. For the purpose of this playthrough, I'm going to go with Elementalist. And then when I eventually do get to my elite spec, I'm going to probably go for Evoker. I'd like to go through all of the different professions, but it's going to take a long time to go through all the explanations. And I think there's plenty of videos out there already that discuss this. So let's move on. Right. So Guild Wars 2 doesn't have the most detailed character creation I've ever seen, as far as you can't really adjust your body apart from height and your body type. And so I don't want to spend too much time in the video on this. I'm going to tweak everything here quickly and then I will be right back. Right, okay, I'm done. I'm fairly happy with what I've got here. Let's move on. So this next choice is again mostly symbolic. It doesn't really affect anything. I will just go with fire because why not? This was part of a very ambitious idea that ArenaNet had, and they eventually dropped, unfortunately. So again, here this is cosmetic. This particular choice will affect your first chapter of your story, your personal story, and I will go with this one as per usual. This will affect the second chapter of your story, and I'll go with this one. This again is a cosmetic choice. I like Dwayna, so I'm just going to go with Dwayna. And then it's time for my name. And we will go with that. Right, let's get into the game. That's the intro to start.
The human race once ruled Tyria. Now, we struggle to hold our ground. We've been defeated, driven back, and broken. But we will not surrender. So many nations have fallen. Only Kryta still stands. Our faith is strong, despite the silence of the Six Gods. With courage, we'll make our stand in Divinity's reach. The city is my home. I was born to common folk, just one among many. My friends and I don't seek attention or glory. It's hard enough making ends meet. but I believe we can still shape a brighter world out of the ashes of the past. Today, I stepped outside of Divinity's Reach to see the world. But when I arrived in Shaymore, the town was under siege by centaurs. Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help. We can't go on living our lives in fear. I have to fight. I have to make a stand. This is my story.
Okay, and there we go. So what we're going to get now is a first sort of tutorial mission, just to introduce you to all the movement and everything that the game requires. It's very basic. Don't expect anything in depth to happen here. Right, so I'm not going to use any level skips. I'm just going to go straight through and play the game pretty much the way you would normally play it. Obviously, I get a couple of bonuses because of the age of my account. If I go here, you'll see I have bonuses to gold find, so money, karma gain, experience gain, magic find. This is all account-wide bonuses that I get, so there's no getting away from that. And once I'm out of the tutorial mission, I'll obviously have access to mounts and to all the masteries that I've unlocked account-wide, so things like gliding, various mount skills and stuff like that, that a person that's brand new to the game is not going to have, unfortunately. So let me just equip this. Okay, so I start with one active skill, and one healing skill, and this will unlock as I make my way through the game. I'm also locked to my fire attunement at the moment. So there's no quests, but you've got a story quest that you need to follow, so you can just speak to anybody who's got the star on the head.
Get to the inn. We can protect you at the inn.
Okay, so let's run down to the inn. Again, it's located over here. Other than your main story, there's absolutely no questing in this game. No traditional questing, I should say. You're not going to run to an NPC, get a quest, complete the quest, run back, hand in the quest, and so on and so forth. But outside, as soon as you get to the story will have quest markers and things for you to do. Very quest-like, but that's pretty much the limit.
Sergeant, there are more centaurs on the other side of town. Captain Thackeray's calling for reinforcements at the garrison.
If he's calling for help, it must be serious. But I can't spare anyone.
I'll go. Captain Thackeray's never failed Divinity's Reach. If I can help him, I will.
Balthazar bless you. That's the spirit that'll win this war. Good luck.
Right, so we need to head over to... Let's just kill these guys. There we go. There's no real point in running around and killing any of these guys here. Just, you know, play your way through this little tutorial mission and get on with the game. You've got arrows kind of telling you where to go. This isn't always going to be available, but for now we have it. There's the garrison over there. Okay, depending on when you get here, sometimes these gates are shut and you need to actually defend from centaurs that attack from behind. But I've reached it at exactly the stage where I don't need to, so we do have quite a few players here from what I can see. Two players. So all the new players get locked into this little instance for the sake of this introduction. And as soon as the introduction's over, we will be put into the open world.
Cal 6 guns. What is that thing? It's huge!
That, soldier, is a threat. We're
Destroy them!
Charge!
This is kind of your very not extremely good introduction to what a world boss
Take
might
out those
be.
giant hands,
But
and the
we've
whole
got two
thing
parts
will
that
come
we need to
crashing
knock out,
down.
so let's do that.
Watch for debris. Keep your heads down.
Rally to me if you need to recover.
Ouch. Oof, that knocked me back a bit.
Fight! Fight for everything you hold dear.
It's very dramatic, but honestly this is not difficult at all. Your chances of dying or failing this is 0.
It's not dead yet. Brace yourselves. Think it's gonna explode.
Where am I? What happened?
You were injured when the elemental exploded. Captain Thackeray brought you here personally. You've been unconscious for 3 days. You had lots of visitors. Villagers you rescued, some seraph, and even a tavern keeper from the city and his daughter. She came by every day.
That'd be my friends Andrew and Petra. I'll have to go see them once I'm fully recovered. What should I do now?
Fresh air and exercise are the best medicine. The goddess Dwayna helped you. Perhaps you could help others?
Thanks, I will. And thanks for taking such good care of me.
I don't know why, but it feels to me like they've changed the look of the starter gear. I'm pretty sure we didn't have this outfit when we started. Any case, now we've been dumped into the open world. Welcome to Tyria. And this is the starter map for the human race. This is Queensdale, and as you can see, a level 1 to 15 area. So, a quick look at the character screen. Let's go through here and let's go to our equipment. So, I received a dagger as reward for completing that mission, so it's slightly better than what I've got at the moment. I'm going to switch over to that. At this particular point in time, I cannot wield an offhand weapon. That's locked until I get to level 6, and I also don't have weapon swapping available to me right now. Elementalists also cannot weapon swap in combat. Most of the other professions can. So, yeah. Okay, and as you can see, with reaching level 2, I've got a little symbol over here, so let's see here. It introduces various aspects of the game. If you care to read, I've got my hero panel. I get some stat increases, and my weapon skill 2 has unlocked, Drake's Breath, as you can see there. And these skills will unlock as you level up, and your utility skills will eventually start unlocking as well. As you can see, I do have access to my mounts. This is an account-wide, these are account-wide unlocks. So if you've got an old account, you've played through the expansions, and you've done all of the missions and stuff, achievements to unlock these, you will have them. I'm going to switch to the walk floor because it's the fastest. And let's take a look at the map quickly. So we've got various things here on the map. What we have here are scouts, and what the scouts will do, and I'll show you in a second, is they will sort of reveal the map, and they will show you where to find these renown hearts. And your renown hearts are basically the replacement for what would be a quest in a regular MMO. So we'll take a look at those just now. And then we've got waypoints, which is your quick travel method. So as soon as I unlock that, I'll be able to travel to any of these immediately. We've got various points of interest, and Guild Wars is built around sort of encouraging exploration. You should go around, discover the maps. And even outside of these things, there's plenty of little things to find. Callbacks to Guild Wars 1 lore, Guild Wars 1 lore, and lore from the world and stuff. Here we've got vistas, which is a nice little view you can take in of the world. And Then we've got our hero challenges, which will unlock the skill points, and I'll show those to you now, that you will need to unlock your traits and skills for your respective profession. In any case, let's quickly go and speak to our scout and see what we have available.
The fields beyond Shaymore are Kryta's breadbasket. Since the Centaur attack, citizens are trying to rebuild their lives. But it's tough with bandits and dangerous wildlife roaming the area. Don't wait for an invitation. Jump in and help them.
Let's close that. Okay, so once again, let's look at the map. So the scout has now revealed Renown Hearts for me. And this part over here between the Shaymore Garrison and the Shaymore Fields, the Western Divinity Dam, is the starter area of the starter area. All the critters here are very easy to kill. Nothing is aggressive. Nothing is going to attack you, or very few things is going to attack you. So it's a very safe place to run around and mess around with your character and discover what your character can and can't do. Now, exploration awards experience. So you will see when I hit this point of interest. There we go, and little XP bar. Okay, now as to your personal story or the overarching mission of the game, that is not available to you just yet. If you look at the story, it's grayed out. I can't access it just yet. You need to get to level 10 before you can actually start doing your story. So again, encouraging you to explore, which I will start doing now. So I'm going to run to the nearest Renown Heart. And I'm just going to sort of do a circuit around through here and come around up and to this vista over here to finish this area here. Okay, open up a waypoint, that's more experience. And here is our first Renown Heart. As soon as we get into range, there we go. And this will tell you what you need to do. So it's kind of like a quest, but not really. You've got a list of activities that you can do in this area that will progress this bar. And when this bar is finished, the Renown Heart will be complete. And this NPC will turn into a merchant that you can buy stuff from using karma that you earn through participating in events and completing these hearts. So let's do that. Here's one of the things that we can do. Worm Mount. And we can tend to the Scorched Corn. All of these things are listed up here. As you can see, as soon as I do something, this bar progresses. It doesn't really take a lot of effort to complete this particular heart. Some of the hearts are more annoying than others, sadly. And every heart has different activities for you to complete. Okay, I can entertain the cows. Cow is very impressed by my dancing, is walking away.
That's why I became a guard.
Right.
So the question that you might ask yourself is Renown Hearts the only way that you're going to earn experience in this game, given that there are no quests? And the answer to that is really no. As you make your way through the world, random events will pop up from time to time. And Guild Wars is fairly unique, or at least it used to be unique when it was launched, in that events, open world events, are just a free-for-all. You can join. You don't need to be part of a group. You don't need to ask permission. You join in, you hit the thing, and you get participation. Done. Very friendly, and it's probably one of the reasons that Guild Wars 2 has one of the friendliest communities in the MMO space. So anyways, I've leveled up a bit. I'm up to level 4 already. This does go a lot faster than it used to, even in the past. So let's go check out our Karma Merchant. Our NPC, as you can see, she's now got the completed heart above her head, and I can go and buy and sell stuff.
Tough to prosper nowadays, but we try.
There we go. So I can get from her a loaf of bread, which will give me
I
a
didn't
bonus
see
to
you
my
there.
vitality and some extra experience from kills, and an accessory. Right? If I want vitality, I'm going to buy it just for demonstration's sake.
Always a pleasure.
Right, let's open my panel, go to equipment, and as you can see, it's listed here. There's our accessory. It gives me 3 vitality, and this is my vitality over here. Right, as soon as I slot this, you will see. Oh, let's go here. You'll see that my health will increase. So 3 points. Let's drop it in there. There we go, and my health has now increased from 620 to 650. So each point of this has given me an extra 10 hit points. Elementalist does have the lowest HP pool out of all the professions. I think the only one that's close or equal is the Guardian. The Guardian, however, has extremely good healing abilities, and it's a heavy armor class, so the Elementalist can get a bit squishy. Right. So, I believe an event just... Let me just hop back up. Right, so here we go. Here's our first event just popped up. Now we can just go and do stuff. Right, we've got bandits coming in to burn the crops. We need to protect the the hay bales. Sorry.
Keep coming, trust me.
Um,
Grab a bucket and
looks like
stand
I might be
by.
the only person that's participating here, so
You're kidding,
yeah,
right?
this is going to be... Okay. We are losing hay bales, but... No! Go down to the bottom. Okay, I have access to my mount, so I can move along a bit faster. Guys, somebody stay at the top, somebody stay at the bottom, please. I'll go to the bottom again. Okay, I'm just going to stay here, and hopefully somebody can watch the top. There we go. That should take care. That's another elementalist up there. And these events, dynamic events, they reward you with a pretty decent amount of experience. So. Okay, that should be the last set off. There we go. And
I thank you. My cows thank
there
you.
we go.
Everyone who
Rewards,
eats beef
and
drinks milk thanks.
there's a nice solid chunk of experience for me. Okay, so let's move on to my next heart. Help Fisher Travis maintain the river. Yeah, that was not supposed to happen. Definitely want to get another weapon. Okay, so check for traps. Check traps for hostile creatures. Break drake eggs and kill drakes and scale in the river. So there's the drakes with their eggs. Let's go and get rid of those. Go. That's our next heart finished. Let's go see what he has. And none of the critters have dropped anything nice for me yet, sadly. I got a leather bag from leveling up. Most of these things that they're dropping are crafting materials so far, and some trash. The trash you can just sell. It's not going to make you rich, but it brings in a bit of gold. And then obviously the crafting materials, which I just did by clicking over here, I deposit in my bank straight away. You don't have to go straight to your bank and deposit it manually, which is a nice little quality of life update that wasn't available when the game launched. So just grab all my rewards. I'm going to buy some Drake Steak because it gives me some extra burning duration, and that's kind of my character's focus, is setting things on fire. So burning longer is good, so I'm going to buy about 10 of these. Right. Let's put this out of the way. Let me just sell the
May Melandru guide you.
trash. Go here, sell junk, and done. Okay. Right, next heart is over here. Okay, I have to kill elementalists, uncover elementalists, plug leaks. There's a leak. Plug it. And then kill all these poor elementals that weren't bothering anybody. Now, one of the reasons that you're leveling up so quickly is that this ArenaNet have added what we're going to call the character adventure guide here, and completing these things give you a solid chunk of experience whenever you do it. So we will see just now applying conditions. When I set something else alight, this would finish and I will get a chunk of experience as soon as I can find something to set on fire. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Completed. And you can see nice chunk of experience there. Now, if you look over here, you'll see a floating document up there. That is one of our vistas. I'm going to go up there just now. If you go to a vista, you can get a nice view of the immediate area. This one's going to test your jumping skills a little bit. Oops, that was close. Believe me, when I started playing the game, I failed quite regularly. And there we get a nice view of the Divinity's Reach Dam and a stretch of Queensdale. Okay, and well, here we go. We're going to get a display of one of those account-wide unlocks that I've had. I can glide. Most people, if you're a new player, you won't be able to do this just yet. This is a mastery that you unlock in Heart of Thorns. It's the first expansion that launched for Guild Wars. Okay, I am now already level 6. And one of the other things that Guild Wars 2 does is that it actually adjusts your level based on the area that you're in. Since I'm in the starter area where basically your max level is going to be 5, I am being leveled down to the equivalent of level 4. That is what is appropriate for this particular area. So it does mean that in theory you can be a level 80 character, max level character, and you will not be overpowered for this area, in theory. But in reality, once you are level 80, you're pretty much going to one-shot most things in this area anyway. It's a nice thought, though. Right over here we've got fishing. I don't have any fishing gear equipped on this character just yet, so I can't make use of this, sadly. Maybe at a later date I will have the opportunity to demonstrate. In any case, we're going to assist Farmer Ida with her orchard. We've got to squish spiders, we've got to squish spiders' egg sacs, and at night there will be bats that we also have to get rid of. It's not nighttime right now, and it's not really that easy to tell the difference between day and night in Guild Wars, but well, lack of bats is a good indicator.
Farm. Too many memories.
Without you running things, it'd be a serious.
Actually, I am level 6, and I'm going to explain something else right now. As you can see, I've got an empty skill slot here. This has unlocked, but I don't have a skill here, and the reason for this is that I do not have an offhand weapon equipped, and I can take care of that right now. So this will unlock at level 8, so 2 levels away. Your first 3 skill slots are the weapon skill slots for your main hand weapon, and then 4 and 5 will be the skills for your offhand weapon. And each weapon has its own set of skills associated with it. So as soon as I change weapons, this will change. If I change to staff, as you can see, staff is a 2-handed weapon, so main and off. So the staff has 5 skills associated with it. As you can see, all 4 of these skills have changed. And sadly, I find the staff to be not my favorite weapon.
Replenishing.
So we're going to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to stick with daggers for now.
That too much.
Hopefully in the not too distant future I can switch to Scepter, which I enjoy significantly more. Got a weapon drop. As you can see, this has got a blue name, which means it is a grade above my current weapons. White is the base weapon type, blue is your next level up, then you've got green, you've got yellow, then you've got orange, and then you've got pink, which is ascended, and finally purple, which is your legendary gear. So this is a fine dagger. I will swap that around, and I will swap this around because this is the base dagger that I started with. Definitely not as good, right? Not going to make a huge difference. I'm not suddenly going to one-shot things. Should finish. There we go. Let's go see. I've got some trash that I can sell.
Welcome.
She's got a measuring
How can I help
spoon,
you?
which I don't want. Sell the dull knife. I don't need that anymore. Sell junk. Mighty Country Pants. Let's see. This is... So what I've got is the Frayed Country Pants. The Mighty Country Pants gives me 1 point of defense more, but it also gives me 3 power, which
Most
means
people don't realize trees
damage.
are male and female. If you don't have both, no fruit.
Yeah, I don't think about that too much.
Oops, color change. Okay, we can sell this. The staff I am probably not going to use, so I will sell that as well.
Thank you.
Oh, we just had another event pop up. We've got to collect apples, so let's collect apples. We're going to go kick the trees. And we're going to get either spiders or apples dropping out, or both. In this particular case, both. Now, the more people we have in the area when the event is happening, the more the event scales up, which means it's going to take more apples to finish, and you'll get more critters spawning.
Time to do some real damage.
So if you are here by yourself, basically you need to collect 10 apples and it will complete the event, but this will not be happening now. It's going to take a few more apples to finish. And by a few, I mean a lot. Let me go hand in my apples. I don't know why this... he should be standing over there with the symbol above his head, but for some reason it's not happening now. 14 apples and I just barely started moving the bar.
Hit the trees and make them shake. How else are you gonna get the apples down? Oh, and watch out for spiders.
Okay, got a whole bunch of people participating here, and like I said earlier, this is nobody is interfering with anybody at all. Nobody's stealing my progress from me. Nobody's going to reduce my reward. As long as you participate, you get the rewards.
I'll take what you have, but we're
now the other nice thing is that once you've participated in the event and it is finishing, the progress bar is full, you will get your rewards. You do not need to stay at the event. It's probably good manners to stick around. But like I said, the event is finished. 14 seconds it'll be done, so there's no need for me to stay around and wait. I can just walk off and I will get the rewards when the event times out. Right, and then one of the other important parts of Guild Wars 2 is the ability to dodge. When you dodge, you become essentially untouchable. And there we go. He's giving us a nice demonstration there. We've got a trap here, and if I walk through the trap, it's going to nail me. It's going to hit me. There, another good demonstration. So if you time it correctly, you will roll through the spikes.
Personal victory.
The spikes won't hurt you at all. I just leveled up again, which is nice. There we go. So dodging, very, very important. A very, very useful skill to have. Takes practice to get right. Just got a notification that lots of players left the map, so the map's going to close, which doesn't mean that you are suddenly not going to be able to play. There are multiple instances of this map available, but as soon as the number of these guys need to get their timing figured out. And as you can see, they are closer to the expected level for this area. They don't have the bonuses I have. But anyways, so there's multiple instances of the map available. When the player count drops to low, it will start closing instances and it lets you transfer across to another instance. So I can do that now to show you. And there we go. Same map. Another version of the event is busy going. I'm not going to participate in it again. Right, we've got some bandits. These are the only aggressive mobs that you're going to find in this area. But again, they're not very challenging at this particular point. Right. So with that all done, I've got new boots. We can change that around as well. I'm not a fan of this outfit. I don't know why they changed the starter outfit. In any case, I can swap this around. There we go. Got new boots. The colors have changed. One of the nice things about Guild Wars, obviously, is that you can dye your armor. Again, as a starter, you're not going to have access to a lot of dyes. As somebody who has been playing since the game launched, I've got obviously access to a ton of extra dyes. So for that, I would go into my fashion tab. It's going to give me a little pop-up here because this has changed recently. Go to my wardrobe, and here we go. You can see my armor and my dye. As you can see, I'm all brown and dreary at the moment. So here we go. That's our dyes, and as you can see, I have quite a few dyes. There's still a few dyes that I haven't unlocked. So just to quickly demonstrate, this doesn't cost you anything. Once you've got the dye unlocked, you can dye your armor as much as you want, and it's not going to charge you. It's not going to cost you gold. It's not going to cost you karma. It's not going to cost you real money. As soon as you have the dye in your list, you can use it as you want to. So I'm just going to switch to hue, and then I can choose whatever my dye is. And your dye will be slightly different based on which part of the clothing you put it on. As you can see, that's what it will be for that part, and then for that part it's slightly different, right? So if I make all of this yellow, it doesn't look the same. It varies by material slightly. This color is probably not the best one to see it with, but let's do this one. As you can see, there's slight variation in the tone of the color. So I was going to go with like a yellow. Let's not do incandescent. Electro lemon, that's a nice color. I'm going to do that. Shoes, there we go. Daffodil. So we do daffodil. Do the daffodil there. Shoes, I'm going to leave brown. What other color? Let's try green. It's too bright. There we go. I will go with that as my colors. Anyways, that was a quick little demonstration of the dye system that's in the game, and I'll have to re-dye later when I get a different armor set. Anyways, with that, I'm going to stop here. As I said, I will have access to the story once I get to level 10, so I will get my character leveled up to 10, and then we will start playing through the personal story. For the time being, I'm going to say goodbye. I just realized I had my character's name the wrong way around. I did family name, main name. I should change that around when I have a chance. That's going to cost me money, unfortunately. Right, so I'm going to say goodbye, and I will catch you with the next video. Have a good one.